Good afternoon, sweethearts. How y'all doing? Oh, good. You feel the magic? Thank you all for your intentions on this hurricane. For those of you who don't know, it went to Category 1 by 5 a.m. this morning. That was really good. How you doing, Dana? Big hugs and blessings, sweetheart. It's raining a little bit here. As you can see, it's kind of cloudy. It's raining just a little bit, not real hard right now. Saturn goes stations direct today, sweet ones. That's a great thing. Saturn is Lord of Karma. And, he's in a trine with a couple other planets. Mercury's retrograde, but he's in a trine with the North Node of Leo, which is the planet which is the star of destiny. And so even though, and he's in a trine with Lilith, and goddess of the underworld. So there's a lot of heavy, dark energy present right now. How you doing, Laura? Big hugs and blessings, sweethearts. And with Mercury going retrograde, it's always a review, a revise, and a slowdown. And so even though it doesn't feel like all of these magnificent energies, how you doing, Helena? Big hugs and blessings, beautiful. All of these magnificent, glorious energies coming in, it doesn't feel like much is changing because of this heavy, dense energy that's in here. And with Saturn going direct, stationing direct, a lot of that will start to ease up. It'll shift into Capricorn in December, which is its ruling, or its home base, if you will. How you doing, Michelle? Valerie? Big hugs and blessings, sweethearts. So things will start to get a little bit easier. I mean, you still got this 40 days of chaos, sweet ones, and the energies are going to still be a little heavy, but things will start to ease up. And as Mercury stations direct on the 5th of September, how you doing, Karen, Chucks, Michelle? Chucks, so much is changing, it's very overwhelming. And it is, especially for the feminine divine. She's in, you're having to, these energies are asking you to look at where you're codependent. For the divine masculine, if you will, with Saturn stationing direct now, he's going to more and more come into himself. He's really more so the balancing of the third eye and the fourth eye, and with that comes he's really starting to see more of his multidimensionality now, and he's becoming more comfortable with stepping into his power. And as that continues, sweet ones, a lot of that balance and harmony is going to come in. Chucks, you need relief? Talk to the Creator, sweetheart. He'll bring it. And they'll bring it. It will bring it. However you want to label it. And this is really a time still, it's asking you to really go within. And up with Mercury being in retrograde, sweet ones, this is really asking you to really see what you need to release. Those behaviors, those stumbling blocks, those cyclic patterns, if you will, where you are not allowing yourselves to flow. And again, Saturn is the Lord of Karma, and it's really been presenting us, it's been retrograde in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a very fiery energy. And it's really asking us to really balance and neutralize this stuff. And so with it stationing direct today, it's going to get a little bit easier as far as the karmic energies, if you will. Now, with Mercury retrograde, and it's going to station at the 28 degrees, on September 5th, at the degree of the total solar eclipse, you're really going to find that from now till the 5th of September, you really have a chance to change those behavior patterns and stuff that you really haven't wanted to acknowledge, to become aware of, to really change. And that's right. That's right, Valerie. Love yourself. Emmy, how you doing, Jay? Big hugs and blessings for her. Emmy says, my heart is heavy. Your heart is heavy, honey, because remember, all this total solar eclipse, all these energies, the darkness is condensed light, and all the darkness we hold is within our hearts. It's those walls, it's those binds, it's those chains, it's those ghosts, it's those skeletons, it's those secrets. And you have to become transparent, sweet ones. And exactly like Valerie says, now is the time to let go of the old. Stop looking back. And how you doing, Rhea? Big hugs and blessings. And this is really asking you to truly, truly let go of the old. Jacqueline, Mama, I'm feeling really depressed today. Really breathe into this, sweet ones. And Jacqueline, put on some, all of you guys, solfeggio music will really help release some of this heavy energy. There's all different kinds. You can Google them on YouTube. Big hugs and blessings, Mary. I love you guys. And for myself, I listen to an 1122 hertz frequency solfeggio. A lot of people can't handle that high pitch, that high tone, but solfeggio music will really help you guys through this heavy, dense energy. And again, even though we're going through this 40 days of darkness, if you will, and really what that is with the total solar eclipse, what it did, sweet one, liken it to this. We've been talking about how it was a separation of worlds. So, it really closed down, if you will, the 3D matrix. And September 23rd is really going to be the anchoring, if you will, of the 5D matrix. And so these 40 days of chaos, if you will, is really more of that crossing from one world to another. And so you're going to be going through a lot of seemingly metaphorical deaths, if you will. And again, with Saturn stationing direct today, this is really going to help you move forward into your destiny, your purpose, if you will. And Saturn, again, is in a trine with the North Node, and the North Node is your destiny. Is that energy of your destiny. And so things will get a little easier, if you will. The masculine essence within us all is really going to come into more of a harmonization, and more of a balancing. Valerie, heart chakra, that's right. That's what this total solar eclipse, the energies did, is bring in the divine feminine, if you will, took her throne. She took her place on her throne. And with that, it really is bringing in a heart-centered unity consciousness. And as the bifurcation of these timelines continues to separate and be released from each of us on an individual level, if you will, it will affect the collective in a very most beneficial way. And the seemingly heaviness and the chaos, remember, there's almost 7 billion souls that are not awakened, sweet ones. Yes, this heart-centered unity consciousness is helping all of those that are not awakened. But it also does, it's like pouring fresh water into a half cup of old water. It goes straight to the bottom as the old comes up. And that's what it is, even for those that are unawakened. Someone asked me yesterday, Mama, it seems like it's getting more chaotic. Well, for those unawakened, it is. And they don't know, they don't understand what necessarily is going on. And Valerie, we need to stand strong. Absolutely. In the face of diversity, we always need to be that pillar of peace, sweet ones. And really, this is a time where you can it's really helpful to pay attention to what is being triggered. And, the masculine right now, as much as they are coming into that balancing and harmony within and without of us, if you will, they are in a process of letting go of control. And You know, if you observe that aspect within ourselves of the masculine, if you will, that's the hardest thing for us, whether it's within or without, whether it's the masculine without of us or the masculine essence within us. It's a matter of releasing control. And right now, you're really going to find that with Saturn going direct, stationing direct today, you're really going to find that control of trying to control change is really going to ease away now. Not all at once, sweet ones. Nothing happens all at once. It's a flow, you know. And especially with Mercury in retrograde still, you know, that's really slowing down, that all of it down. And so if you're really feeling stagnant, if you're really feeling heavy, if you're really feeling depressed, this is what's going on. It's really asking you to really review and really observe what you truly need to let go of, those beliefs that you're still hanging on to, especially beliefs in relationships. You know, it's really asking you to look at where, oh, Valerie, you can help Chucks. Red, you're going to love Valerie. She's just like me. And you're really going to find, sweet ones, this is going to really help you identify if you really go within. Step back and take that time for yourselves right now. And really observe the beliefs that you're still holding on to. And that's really what this is asking you. Once you have a chance to still let go of those beliefs up until Mercury goes retrograde, if you will. And that's going to be a significant point on the September 5th. Mercury goes stations direct again. And so now till then you have time to really still examine and let go of those. And that's what Saturn, you know, with Saturn stationing direct today, that's also really going to bring in more enlightenment, especially in the masculine essence of ourselves. Again, you know, the masculine essence is now beginning to accept that he has to let go of that control. And he's really allowing himself to step into that and to accept that multidimensionality. You know, he's really starting to see and I'm going to describe it like this because I'm not really sure how else to describe it. See through it, see beyond my words. Don't take it absolute literal as a fact, for please. How you doing, Cindy? And so, as he steps, that essence within us, and balances and harmonizing, the masculine is really starting to see what the feminine has been seeing. And the masculine is really starting to see where he has masked himself. And the masks are coming off now. The disguises are coming off now of the masculine aspect, and within and without, even in the masculine embodiments. And he's really stepping into, as exactly as Rhea says, his authenticity. He is ready now to step out of the old and now let go of that control and start flowing. You know, the masculine aspect within us all wants that control, wants to make the decisions for everything, wants to plan, wants to have that power, doesn't want to surrender, if you will. And you're really going to find the masculine essence within and the masculine embodiments. They're really going to start stepping into that grace, more of that gracefulness, that gentleness, that nurturing. And they're really going to allow themselves, and especially within us, because a lot of this heavy denseness right now is that masculine essence within us not wanting to surrender, not wanting to give up to the control, not wanting to give up that aspect of us that wants to stay attached to the familiar and the comfortableness of this 3D reality that we are letting go of, that space, if you will. How you doing, Cheryl? Big hugs and Blessings. Cheryl says, and sweet ones, I want you to observe this. Cheryl, says, hello, Linda. The masks are coming off, but some are not worthy. Cheryl, I want you to understand this. There is not one being, not one soul on the planet Earth that is not worthy. There is light in every being. Everybody is worthy. And that, sweetheart, beautiful, I would really encourage you to go within and ask yourself why you're still judging. What space within you, Cheryl, do you still have an energetic blockage that you have to judge? There is not one being, I don't care how dark they are, sweet ones, that are not worthy of the Creator's love. We are all worthy of it. I don't care if you're a pedophilist. I don't care if you're the Illuminati. I don't care if you're whatever label you want to give it, a murderer, a rapist, or whatever. We are all worthy. There is not one being on this planet right now that is not worthy. And it's really helpful to understand, sweethearts, even if they are the darkest of the darkest souls, they still have light in them, or they would not be embodied. And it's those things that Saturn is really asking us. And Cheryl, I'm not judging you, sweetheart. Please don't take that way. I'm saying that from the depths of my being. We are all worthy. And you know, absolutely, Valerie says, even my abuser, you took the words right out of my mouth, Valerie, because I was just about to say even my rapist was worthy. It's really helpful to understand this, sweet ones. Forgiveness is the mercy of the Creator. It's also really helpful to understand this. It does not matter if it is a rapist, if it is a murderer, if it is a thief. Whatever you want to label it as. They do those things. That what they do is no different than a crack addict or a heroin addict or a pill addict. They use it, their pain, there's so much pain in their soul, they don't know how to release the pain. And so they act out. And just like the addict, they use it as the addict uses it as an escape to escape their pain. And a murderer and a rapist and this and that, they're all hurting souls. And when we can embrace the fact that we are all divine, no matter how dark they are, or appear to be to us, they still have light in them. And it's, you know, it's not for us to judge their pain. And really, when you can look at not their actions per se, if you will, but see the divinity and the sovereignty in their souls, and understand that, and we all are guilty of it, sweet ones. Just because you haven't gone out and literally murdered somebody, don't mean you haven't murdered or killed somebody else's spirit. And what I mean by that is you can stab somebody in the heart by calling them a cunt or a bitch or anything else. Forgive me, Creator. Clear, cancel, and delete that. Or, you know, calling them a whore or a thug or this or that. You can kill and murder the spirit of a soul just as easy as if you actually went out and held a gun to their head and shot them. So, you know, we're all guilty of that. And that is where forgiveness really has to come in. And that is where we are all being asked to step into seeing the light, seeing the glory, seeing the divinity, seeing the sovereignty in everything. And, you know, I love you guys. This is a very heavy energy. I get that. But it's heavy for a purpose. It's showing us where we're still holding spaces of blockages of judgment. It's really showing us where we still hold on to beliefs that everybody is bad or this or that. And, you know, to come into unity, we have to be willing to allow everyone to be who and what they are. We have to accept what they do. Because, again, you strip away the masculine, the feminine, the physical vessels, and you actually look. Their blood is the same color as ours. Their heart is the same divinity as ours. And you strip away the flesh, and they're still energy just like we are. And that's really what this is showing us. The beliefs that we still hold that are not serving the highest good of all. And with Saturn going direct, sweet ones, stationing direct, this is really going to help us move forward out of those beliefs should we choose to release them. You're being triggered for a purpose right now, guys, and it's triggering all those wounds, and really those wounds are just beliefs. Let me see what I missed here. Forgiveness stops the wheel of karma. Absolutely nothing to forgive. Acceptance. And there's nothing to forgive. Well, Valerie is absolutely correct. It is all about acceptance. But you have to forgive yourself, or you're not going to be able to be in a place of acceptance and allowance. And let's see where I'm at. Oh, thank you, Billy. We're all angels, you know. Well, not every. Well, in my mind, in my thoughts, we're all angels. Let's see where. Jacqueline, Don, I forgive, but I will never forget. Jacqueline, it's like this, sweetheart. When you truly, truly forgive, you do forget. Because when you 0 point those memories, when you totally heal it, when you neutralize and harmonize and 0 point those memories, that energetic behavior pattern, you do forget. And if you're not forgetting, it's because you haven't forgotten. You have not forgiven. There is a space there. You have not forgiven, beautiful. Today I had to detach from a light worker who posted a picture of Pope. I don't know who Pope Ratzinger is. I told him it is not useful. He said he is a warrior of light because he spreads the truth. And Emmy, that's a space again. You know, you're being triggered, beautiful. That's a space within you. Why did you block him? Because he posted a picture, sweetheart. That may not be your truth, but that is his truth. And again, that comes into allowance and acceptance, sweet ones. And that comes into truly unconditional love. And, you know, how can we love another unconditionally if we're not allowing them to speak their truth from and accept their truth at the level of awareness and frequency that they're at? These are the type of things this is bringing to our attention to really observe and to let go. We have to let go and we have to forget. And you will find that when you forgive, when you 0 point everything, you do forget. That's why I sometimes say, you know, I use the example as a family reunion. You know, everybody will remember it differently. And, you know, you run across, say you go to a high school reunion and someone will say something. It's like, I don't remember that. And here it comes down to, you don't remember it because you 0 pointed it and it's not serving you any purpose. When you 0 point something, it's no longer in your cellular memory, so there's no need to forget because it already clears it out for you. I love you guys too. All right, where are we at? How are things going with this storm, sweet one? Brenda, last I knew, I don't watch the news really. I get my information from all you guys. Last I knew, it was down to a category 1. That was at 5 a.m. this morning. I'm grateful you guys all helped us really change that weather and pattern. The memories flash over and over. He was spreading fear. Was he spreading fear or was he spreading his truth in me? It may be fear to you, but it may have been truth to him. Again, truth is as fluid as the emotional mind frame you hold and the frequency you hold, sweet ones. And again, that's all about acceptance. If you felt that was spreading fear in me, I would really encourage you to step within, sweet one, and ask, beautiful, and really ask where that triggered that fear in you and why you felt the need to judge it as fear, because it just is. It just is. Love is. It's what you all consider fear and it's what you all consider love. It just is. And you're right. I did say that. You said we have to honor ourselves detaching from 3D relations. Absolutely, Emmy. But if you go back and you read what you just typed to me, sweetheart, you know, he told you that was his truth. And somehow it triggers something within you, beautiful. Chuck, Satan gets a bad rap. Satan dwells within us as us. The only thing Satan is that conditioned slide in our hearts. Those walls. Keyword there, Emmy, is think. Think it. Thought will always get you into trouble. The Pope in the picture was like Satanism. Okay, we're done with this conversation. Satan that's a belief, Emmy. Straight up, that's a belief. And that's what this Mercury retrograde and Saturn is asking us to observe, is our beliefs. Amy, that had nothing to do with him. That has everything to do with you, sweetheart. And that's what this is showing you. Is there a technique to let go of zero pointing? Karen, I'm not sure what you mean. You want to zero point everything. Zero point is your natural state. So why would you, is there a technique to let go of the zero pointing? I guess I'm kind of confused by your question, beautiful, because you want to zero point everything. Everything in this physical plane is a polarity, and the only way to harmonize it and neutralize it is to bring it back to 0 point. 0 point is our natural state of being. And so I guess I'm confused why you would want to let go of zero pointing, because letting go of zero pointing is going to keep you in duality and separation. And that says, don't judge, but self-love gives your life back. So, sweet ones, really observe. Take the time that this is asking you to really step back and to detach from the outside world and really go into a space of introspection and really observe what's coming up for you, what's being triggered, the beliefs that we still hold. And, you know, if you think somebody's spreading fear or that it's Satanism, those are beliefs within you. That has nothing to do with the other person. And remember, everything in this outside world, they're playing a role for you. They are playing a role for you to see those spaces within yourself. And if you're detaching for the wrong purpose, you're really missing what Creator is trying to show you. And that is those spaces that we're being asked to really observe. You know, and so really enjoy the magic of the energies that are coming in, even though right now they feel really heavy on the heart. And again, you know, as the masculine comes into his seeing, into that multidimensionality, and really coming into letting go of that control and balance within, harmonizing within ourselves and without, really allow these energies to do both, to balance this heavy energy with this magnificent energies. Emmy says, you said to not feed bad vibrations on Facebook with news about reptilians everywhere. Okay, so I said to him to not focus on that. Observe what you just wrote to me, Emmy. So I said to him to not focus on that. You're telling him what to do. I encourage you guys to observe yourselves. Every person in here, in this outside physical world, Emmy, is a mirror for you if you choose to see it. It's not our place to sit there. I don't sit there and tell you, Emmy, go detach. I encourage you guys to. I encourage you to go within. I encourage you to validate everything within. It's not our place to judge somebody else. If there's reptilian in all of us, there is malevolence and benevolence in every one of us. And that's why it's important to observe thyself. And Amy, I don't believe I've ever actually said to not feed bad vibrations on Facebook. I'm not mistaken. I encourage you guys to observe it and not feed into it when it is being projected out to you. However, I will say this. Unless he deliberately went into a private message or tagged you to it, Emmy, I wouldn't call that projecting that out on you. That came into your awareness. If all he did was make a post, beautiful, that came into your awareness for a purpose. Not to judge it, not to tell him he's spreading Satanism or anything else. For him, that is his truth. I told him my opinion without judgment. Every opinion is a judgment, Emmy. Divine love has no reaction. It has no opinion. It has no judgment. If you offered him your opinion, then you're judging him, because every opinion isn't a judgment, beautiful. Again, Emmy, I love you, beautiful. I really encourage you to go within on that. He's showing you a space within you, beautiful. Everything is a mirror. And, you know, that's just like Crystal Hicks when she deliberately went onto my page yesterday and a whole bunch of comments on my wall. Now, Emmy, that is somebody projecting deliberately on you. And that's when I say, you know, those are the things that not to react to. Those are the things to detach from. And if all he did was post it and you've seen it in a group or on the news feed, that doesn't mean that he was projecting it at you. That means you seen a post and it triggered something within you that made you decide to give an opinion, which was a judgment. Again, everything is a mirror. I love you too, Valerie. Big, big hugs, beautiful. So, sweet ones, really take this time to go into introspection. As Mercury is finalizing its retrograde here in the next week and a half, and is going to station direct on the 5th, as Saturn has stationed direct today, and Saturn's the Lord of Karma. You know, and all that which is being presented is your own energy. And again, everything is a mirror here for you. And so really allow where that masculine essence, your thinking, your power, your control, you know, observe the thoughts, sweet ones. Observe what you need to. And the thing is with detachment is detached from the emotions that the adult, and observe the emotions that the inner child is bringing up. Because when we are triggered, it's not the adult us that is triggered, it's the inner child. I love you too, Rhea. Big, big hugs and blessings. And so when I say emotionally detached, that's what I mean. Don't allow the adult you to attach new emotions to what is being triggered. How you doing, Tammy? Big hugs and blessings. And that's beautiful, Emmy. I just encourage you to observe in the process. So, sweet ones, as Saturn stations direct, as you go forward with these energies, know that this heaviness is going to be present as we continue throughout this crossing into the anchoring of this 5D grid as it manifests. And the more you can release, the more of the belief systems that are being presented to you in every interaction, in every observation, whether it's on Facebook or in the physical. I love you too, Tammy. Big, big hugs and blessings, beautiful. Cindy, is a hurricane over? Yeah, it landed. It hit landfall about 11 p.m. last night. So really allow yourselves to observe what's coming up for you, sweet ones. And you're going to see that in this Mercury retrograde until it goes station on the 5th. All of your belief systems, all of those long-held beliefs are within. Oh, Tammy, that has to do with Facebook. That has to do with Mercury retrograde. And that's what's being shown. Just like with what Emmy is going through, that's triggering our belief systems. Those are triggering our beliefs. You know, where do we still hold on to believing that Satan and God's outside of us? Where are we still holding on to the beliefs that relationships have to be a certain way? Where are we still holding on to beliefs that the feminine has to act a certain way, that the masculine has to be a certain way, and, you know, that we have to dress a certain way? You know, it's all of these beliefs that are coming up and presenting themselves within our relationships, without our relationships, on social media, and out in the physical. And with Saturn going stationing direct now, you're really going to see within the next couple months that you're slowly going to continue to shift. You're slowly going to really come into what is your divine purpose. And you're really going to slowly see that the judgment and stuff, if you allow it, will become easier and more graceful and gentle if you allow these energies to do that through this heavy energy that's presenting itself. And really just stay centered in your peace, in your peaceful heart, sweet ones. Again, divine love has no reaction. It has no judgment. It has no opinion. And right now the divine feminine is really at the edge of impatience. She's never had a great amount of patience anyways, and through this journey we have had to learn that patience, and right now the feminine divine is out of patience, and this Mercury retrograde is asking you to slow down and have that patience, just as the divine masculine is now letting go of the control and really learning how to flow, if you will. And that's the divine masculine embodied it, but that's also the divine masculine essence within ourselves. It is letting go of having to plan. It is letting go of living in the future and living in the past. And that is really going to come into harmony now. And so really observe these and let it go, sweet ones. It's all right, Emmy. We all do beautiful. That's just an aspect the feminine divine is having to go through. And it's okay that we're feeling impatience, but that is showing us where we really need to ground. We really need to step back. And if you're being triggered a lot on social media, get off of it. Allow yourself to step away. If you've noticed, I have shared some memories. The past couple days, I've done a video, but for the most part, I'm not on social media. I have stepped back, and I have really stepped back, and because this is a time for introspection. This total solar eclipse is asking you to step back, not to let this outside world dictate to you. And Emmy, that's a perfect example. Emmy got triggered. It had nothing to do with that guy or his post. Emmy got triggered straight up. And that's what this is doing. It's asking us to observe. And that is why, especially those of us that do so much of our spiritual work on Facebook, on social media, it's triggering us. Tammy got triggered too. The other day, 2 days ago, I think it was, Tammy got triggered. That's because that's the last time I've really been on to see anything. But step back. This is asking you to step back, to get away from the outside world and really focus on you and focus within. And that's the beauty of this. I missed something here. Kelly, you said something. Belief systems put in place by man to take power away from people. Yes, but when you say the word man, I'm really hoping you're saying mankind and not the masculine. Let's just clear that up. Be gentle and love ourselves through everything. I did a meditation to use imagination. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, it's okay to feel impatient, sweetheart. I mean, all of it is. And Kelly says, my tempo feels like disconnected, so I had to go ground myself. The world is such a dream. And that says, I thought I'd gone back being alone instead of being social. Nope. And that's what these energies are asking us to do, is step back. But you'll also notice, sweet ones, a lot of you are feeling at this space that you're disconnected from the divine. You're disconnected from your teams. You're disconnected from created, that you're disconnected from your higher connections, if you will. And it's not that you have been disconnected, if you will, but yet you have been in a way. And it's more like a stagnation, a hold in space, because you went into a totality, into the absolute womb at this total solar eclipse. It was a reset. It was a reboot. And again, when we go through these spaces where it feels like we're not here in our spirit, we're not here in our guidance, our teams, our guides, yada, 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 it's because it's asking you to introspect. It's asking you to step back. It's asking you and giving you that period, because you are in that dark of that womb, if you will. You're in that totality of 0 point. And that's where, as much as everybody loves the light and hates the darkness is your glory, because it's in the darkness that the light is born. And when you guys can really step back and observe your beliefs about the light and the dark, and that's what these energies are asking you. Because all of creation comes from the womb. You put a penis in a vagina, there's no light in that vagina. That baby is in darkness those whole 9 months that it's growing. It's in darkness. You don't sit there and hear that baby knock on the walls of a womb and say, okay, I'm ready for my eyes, I'm ready for my liver, I'm ready for my fingernails. So these are really asking you to step back and really observe your beliefs about the light and the dark. Because the only thing darkness is condensed light. But all creation, sweet ones, all creation begins in the darkness. All of it. So I would really encourage you all to really examine your beliefs about light and dark, because there's an awful lot of untruth in it. There is much glory in the dark. And without the dark, you wouldn't be alive. Simple as that. Because you come from the dark, sweet ones. And the sooner that you embrace your darkness and you love your darkness, the sooner you're going to set yourselves free. You know? And that's just what it is. You know, you didn't come from you know, the womb. That baby don't sit in a pool of light in the womb. It sits in a pool of water in the darkness. And Reiki is good, you know. But the higher in frequency you rise to and you evolve to, sweet ones, you're going to find that the Reiki techniques that you have learned are changing. You know, the higher in frequency you go, you're finding you don't need crystals. You don't need Reiki. You don't need none of that, because those are gifts that you're automatically given. Where people do energy healing through Reiki and through chanting and stuff like that, you're going to find with higher in frequency you rise to and you activate your etheric crystals in your hands and you literally activate yourself, you can go out there just like Jesus did in the Bible. You know, perform miracles with his hands. You know, laying of hands on people. That's where laying of hands comes on. And you come to the point where you don't need oracle cards. You don't need tarot cards. You don't need crystals. Do I still use my crystals? Absolutely, I do. Am I a Reiki master? Times 10. Absolutely. Do I tell people I'm a Reiki master? No, I don't. Why? Because I've stepped into the power of all that I am, and I don't need Reiki to heal somebody. I have the intention, I have the power of the energy within myself. So your beliefs are changing, sweet ones, and your gifts, the more you embrace your gifts, what you have been taught is Reiki, as oracle reading, as tarot readings, is this, is that. It's all changing, and all of those things have been taught from the old 3D matrix. And when we say that we are way showers, it's because as these gifts are activated, they switch. And it's those beliefs that are attached to Reiki, attached to crystals, attached to the old ancient teachings that are falling away, because they were all teachings and all stuff that was taught, if you will, from an old mindset, if you will. So all of that is changing, and that's where it's really important to stay within and really observe what is coming up, what beliefs you have attached to, say, Reiki. But Reiki is good, Annette, absolutely. But you transform, the higher in frequency you go, your Reiki energy healing, if you will, is being transformed or upgraded, for lack of a better descriptive, to a different form of energy healing that some still call Reiki, but that myself personally, and this is myself. This does not mean this is how you all have to look at it. Just because I do something my way, that's why I try not to tell you guys to do anything. I encourage you to go within and validate anything. Because for me, I call it energy healing. I don't call it Reiki. Because for myself, it has shifted from my spirit. Emmy, yes, in the womb. Is it the dark night of the soul? The dark night of the soul, Emmy, is facing every ugliness and every demon and every Satanism aspect within you. The dark night of the soul is facing all the deep wounds and hurts and memories. That's what the dark night of the soul is, and you go through many of them on your journey. And that's where you have to make love to your judgments. You have to make love to your Satanism. You have to make love to your beliefs and release them. You have to make love to the dark night, or let's call it the beast. The beast will always fall in love with beauty. Let me clear that. Beauty will always fall in love with the beast. And the beast will always involve in love with beauty. And why is that? Because the beast is no other than yourself within. And that's that's what people don't get. They want to say Satan's outside of them. No, Satan is the darkness and the judgments and opinions and the beliefs that we hold within us. Satan is those inner demons and those deep inner wounds that cause us to have judgment against people. Satan is the judgment. Let's look at it like that. Just as God is the good, Satan is the evil. But that's not outside of us, sweet ones. That's within us. And when we can accept that, that's where balance and harmony begin. That's where that dance, that sacred dance begins. Because when you can walk through the shadows of the fire of death, and that's what this is. That's what every dark night of the soul is you are walking through the shadows of the fires of death. That's what it means for the phoenix to rise, because you have faced the dark night. You have walked through those shadows of death, and that death is letting go of the wounds, of the judgments, of the hurts, through forgiveness and through love. That's what the dark night of the soul is. And if you think you only go through it one time, sweethearts, well, that's thinking for you. It always gets you in trouble. Because we go through it many, 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 many times. Many times on our journeys. Kelly, it was so surreal, the total solar eclipse. I could not believe I saw it. So beautiful colors I've never seen. At one point I glanced up when the moon was letting the sun come back. And it was like seeing a portal to heavenly realms. It sure is. And Annette, I think I answered you on Reiki. Miracles are the absence of fear, all divine work. Let's see. And Jesus said we will do greater works than he did. That's right. And Jesus really is an essence, sweet ones. It's not a being, it's an essence. And everybody comes into that understanding at their own. It was distorted in the old ancient written text. It was not called Jesus, it was called Christ. And that's how it's been distorted. And the Christ is a consciousness. And that is what we are evolving ourselves to, is a Christ consciousness. And that is living through our hearts. Living through peace. Living through neutrality. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of us. And we have to grow beyond tools. That's right. Kelly says, blood pressure cuffs don't work on me a lot of time. They completely die. I haven't, well, when was the last time I had my blood? I guess I had my blood pressure taken last week or whenever it was I had that procedure done. Staff says that's weird. It worked all day. They just stopped working. My energy, and also divine message not to worry about blood pressure. Just trust. Absolutely. You guys are going to come to a space, sweethearts, where, again, this goes with eating meat and gluten and dairy and pills and medications and stuff. Just because somebody sits there and says, well, you're not supposed to eat meat, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. Understand these three ones. They don't want to eat meat, that's on them, that's okay. Your natural state of being, yes, is more of a vegetarian and fruit organic natural diet. However, your vessel, when it is ready to give up smoking, when your vessel is ready to give up meat, when your vessel is ready to give up gluten, give up dairy, give up your medications, your anxiety medications, your bipolar medication, your vessel will make it known to you. So just because you see something on Facebook that says your natural state of being says that you're not supposed to eat meat, that's not good. Well, that's because they're at a different frequency. They're in a different space. And that's a judgment they need to look at within them. But your vessel, when your vessel is ready, your vessel will tell you, it's time to give up meat. It's time to give up medication. It's time to do this. And that's where observation comes in. Michelle, we are all in this together. Everything is being flushed up and out to be acknowledged, loved, and transmuted. Absolutely. By taking responsibility for our thoughts, beliefs. And this is where doing your work by going with and practicing self-inquiry is very powerful. Absolutely. You know, sweet ones, peace is our absolute truth. And as hard and challenging as the human mind likes to make it, love is very simple. When you take away the thoughts, when you take away the thinking, when you take away what somebody said, well, if you're still relying on what somebody said, you're not listening to your spirit. You know, and any true so-called spiritual guru or teacher or anything else, and I don't like any of those names because you each are your own guru. You know, I don't look at myself as a teacher. Many of you guys call me a teacher. I don't look at myself as a teacher. I look at myself as hand in hand with you guys, and I'm just helping explain to you what I've gone through myself and encourage you to go within and find that peace and that truth and that love and that harmony within yourself. My greatest aspiration, sweethearts, is for each of you to become a reflection of my love rather than a keeper of the heart. I aspire to that every day. And I have learned on my own journey, the only way to do that is to stop listening to the outside world and really go within. And any of those of us that guide you or assist you, any true teacher is going to tell you, go within. You know, find your truth within you. Sure, we can share our experiences. We can share our guidance. But the first time someone tells you that you have to listen to them, that you have to do it the way they do it, that they command you to worship them, or that their way is the only right way, walk away. And no, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm encouraging you to. Because truly, that right there are some of the first signs of a false teacher. And those are definitely signs of spiritual ego. Because there is no competition. There is no, you know, and we'll go back to Jesus in the Bible. Jesus never wanted to be worshipped. Jesus specifically said, live as I do through my heart. You know, accept everybody. Yes, you have boundaries. But observe those boundaries, because if you have boundaries up to keep people away from you because you don't want to be hurt, those are the wrong boundaries to have. Because you know what? When you get to a space where you totally love yourself unconditionally, again, I'll give you an example. I sleep with my doors open. I don't live in fear. You come to a space where you know you are divinely protected in every given moment. You don't live in that fear, so you don't have to put those boundaries up. Oh God, that person's of a lower energy and they're going to attach to me. You grow out of that space, if you will. Michelle, that's awfully long. Let's read it. We are all in this together. Everything is being... Oh, I think I read that already. Beautiful. Kelly, dark night happens when deaths happen to you. I started my journey when I had to face myself when my husband died. I started my journey when my tailbone was broken when I was brutally raped. And it was the greatest miracle in my life. People ask me, how can you say that about a rape? Because for 44 years I lived in a victim mentality, and I lived as a victim, and that rape taught me that it don't matter if he raped me, brutally raped me or not. But Jesus, the essence of Jesus, and two angels sat with me for 40 days and 40 nights in the mountains after my rape. And Jesus showed me that it don't matter if they're a pedophilia, if they are a rapist, if they are a murderer, if they are a thief. Jesus showed me that they are still divine, that they still come from the Creator, that there is still light in their hearts. But what He really showed me is that people who do that are just a hurting soul. That their soul is hurting, and they have lost, they are hopeless. And they no longer know where and how to deal with that hurt. And so they project it out. And if you observe yourself, sweet ones, through the course of your life, How many times have you said something in an emotional state of anger that you regretted? How many times have you told your loved ones or your children something mean? So, it's no different. We all have that within us. And those are the things that we have to look and be willing to accept. Rather than see people as dark and evil, we have to learn to accept that they too are divine just like us. Because until we started our spiritual journey, we were no better. Sure, maybe we didn't go out and still stab somebody or kill somebody, but I can guarantee you each single one of us have stabbed our kids in the heart and hurt them. We have killed their spirit in some way or another, just as we have killed each other's spirits by some of the mean things we have said. So, sweet ones, that's why it's so important to let go of judgment. Because before we started our spiritual journeys, we were just like that. We were hurting souls. And when you're hurting, you react. And when you react, you do and you say things that you later regret. And that's where forgiveness and acceptance comes in. When you can allow yourself, regardless of what your human mind wants to label as evil or anything else, when you can find the divinity in the sovereignty and the glory, and more importantly, the light in everybody else, that's the beauty of our journeys. And it's when you can come to that space where you do see that glory in divinity, in sovereignty, in everything and everyone, that truly you have become awakened and you have become enlightened in your heart and in your soul and in your spirit, because we are all one. Again, you have one single light. Take a black piece of paper and punch a bunch of holes in it, hold it up to the light, and all those little fragments of light that come through that black piece of paper, that's each one of us. We all come from the same light. Whether you want to label it good, bad, evil, murder, rapist, it don't matter. We all come from the same light. We're all divine. That's right, Sophia Grace. God is who we are. God dwells within us as us. And so, really, Chucks, I asked for a message. I just received it. I'm connected to all of you. I'm just your heart. I keep telling you guys that. I'm just a hologram of your heart. I love you guys. And so really, sweet ones, just really allow these energies to show you the beliefs that we still hold within, the control that we're still holding, trying to control the creation to go our way. You're really into a space right now where you're being asked to give up planning. You're being asked to stop living in the future by planning and saving and this and that and living in the past and actually live in this moment now. Because, when you don't live right here in the present, in this moment, and what I mean by that, enjoy whatever's going on. If you're at home or if you're in the supermarket or whatever, really find the magic in that moment, in that experience. That's what being present in this now is. Not worrying about how you're going to pay your rent in 5 days. It's being present right now and saying, Creator, yes, I have this concern. Yes, this is what's needed. I'm asking you to provide, and I now surrender it to you. And you go back to being, okay, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to find some magic in this moment. I'm going to dance. I'm going to sing. I'm going to draw. I'm going to paint. I'm going to go volunteer at the homeless shelter. I am going to find the magic right here, right now, and I'm going to put a smile in my heart, and I'm going to extend that smile, and I'm going to put a smile in everybody else's heart as well. And that's the beauty and the power of us. And that, sweet ones, is how we change the world. We don't change the world by coming on social media, doing a live video, or writing a post. No, we change the world by living in our hearts. And letting our hearts, whether it's through dance, creativity, a live video on social media, a post, volunteering at the homeless shelter, or walking down the street. Every time a car passes, I bless them. It don't matter if I know them or not. That's how we change the world. We put that loving energy out there. We extend our hand. We extend our smile. We extend that love to each other. And we do this hand in hand, side by side. You know, somebody's going through a dark time or an experience, and they go on social media. I'm asking for prayers. I'm asking for energy. That's where we step up and we extend that smile. We extend that loving energy. We extend that compassion and say, I'm here for you. Even if you don't know them and you just run across a post. You know how many times have people made a post, I have a friend, and none of us have a clue who that friend is. I have a friend, I'm asking you for healing prayers, energies. And how many of us actually do that? So you see, sweet ones, it don't matter if they're a stranger to us or not. That's how we change the world, is we extend our love, we extend our smile, we extend the healing gifts that we've been given by the Creator. And that's the beauty and the magic of us. And that's the glory of us. Because truly, it doesn't matter if they're clear across the globe or they're sitting right next to you. We can affect everything and anything. And I'm going to use this Hurricane Harvey last night as a perfect example. Michelle Walling, came on. I shared some of her stuff on my wall. I went on and did a live video asking you all to help us set the intention. And look it did. It still hit landfall, yes. But it didn't do near the damage that they were predicting it to do. And it hit at 11 o'clock, and by 5 a.m., it was down to a Category 1. That's how powerful we are with our intentions. And when we come together, sweet ones, the more we come together in unity, the more it amplifies it, and that is the glory of us. And that's the beauty and the magic. And that's what we have to find in this heavy, dense energy that we're feeling. This heavy depression that's going on. And Chuck says, I gave up those chemicals. 5 years ago, sweethearts, I was on 54 pills a day and 5 shots of insulin. 54. Guess what was killing me? I take nothing now. I take absolutely nothing. I bought chicken and lamb tonight. Oh, there you go. Bless it for me and take a bite for me in it. I don't really know why I bought this. There was a purpose for it. For whatever reason, you were guided to buy it. Beautiful. Don't judge it. And am I crazy if I still miss my latest beast because he is conscious in some way? No, we're not crazy. It's okay. Bless him, and it's okay to miss him. As long as there's not an emotional attachment to that missing and it's an actual unconditional love. If there's an emotional attachment to it, that's what you need to observe. But you know what? There's nothing wrong. It really truly isn't. Big hugs and blessings, Victoria. Kelly, someone can be getting high up spirituality and even manifesting gems, but as soon as ego steps in, they lose their ability to manifest. That's right. And I made a post. I shared a memory today. I did a post about spiritual ego. Now, I'm not sure if that was a memory from last year or if it was from 2 years ago in 2015 that I wrote. And I want to say it was 2015, but it's on my wall. I reshared that memory today. I understood now the difference. Someone that is projecting themselves on me and someone that is mirroring a dark space of judgment with me. You're welcome, beautiful. I love you guys. I wouldn't be able to sit here and encourage you what to look for or anything had I not done it. And trust me, sweet ones, when I say this, I've had to go through a lot of very, very dark spaces. If you guys truly knew what I have experienced in my physical vessel in this lifetime, you truly would wonder why I'm still here. And everything from sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, incest, rape, I could go on and on and on. And I have no regrets, sweet ones. I have no bad memories. And you will come to that space. And I look at everything now. Of course, we don't when we've gone through it. But I can literally look back and be grateful for every experience I have. And had I not been raped, I wouldn't have been able to do that. In my rape, I tell you, I thank the Creator every day for that miracle. Because that changed my life for the better. And that stopped me from judging people. That helped me understand that all of us really stem from the Creator, good, bad, or indifferent. We all come from the same source. And that we all are just hurting souls until we can face our own darkness. And that's the beauty of us. It really truly is the beauty of us. Chuck's in Mercury retro strikes again, honey. It's gonna station direct on the 5th. Annette, so I answered. Did I answer you, Annette? Johanna, I started my journey 35 years ago. Oh, honey, we started our journeys the day we were born. Jax, everything you need is within. It is never the external. For abundance, pay your bills, clothing. It is never looking to the external. When you turn to the internal to take care of your needs, Spirit will guide you. I've lived my life like that for over 40 years. Thank you, Christina. Victoria, can you do a reading on me, please? Victoria, I'm going to say this, sweet ones. I don't do readings. I have explained why I don't do readings. The best reading, Victoria, that you can give yourself is to go into meditation and ask to connect to the Spirit, to Spirit, to ask to connect to your angels, to your gods, to your mighty I Am presence. In Victoria, the reason I say that, and I'm not judging anybody who gives readings. Victoria, go to Tammy Winterstrom. She gives readings. But the reason I say I will not give readings is this. And again, Tammy, and the rest of you don't take this personally. I don't give readings for this reason, Victoria. Because the frequency I am at and the frequency you are at. I tell you, I can read your future. I can give you a reading. But one, it's coming from my frequency. And the second I give you a reading, if I tell you in 3 months that you're going to meet a dark-haired man and that's your twin soul, and you have now automatically, the second I tell you that and give you a reading, you have now automatically attached an expectation and a condition to the energy of the reading I just gave you. And 3 months down the road comes and you don't meet that dark-haired twin soul, you're automatically going to get pissed off, and your spirit, in your essence, you know, your human is going to say, well, she was wrong. She didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Nah, 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 nah. And really, what I said was true. But the second you attach, as soon as I told you that, subconsciously, unconsciously, you attach an expectation to it. And as soon as you attached a condition and expectation to it, you change the outcome of what I just told you. And that's why I don't do readings. And I don't knock anybody who does do readings. I truly do not. Because it's a gift. And that is a personal preference on my part. And that's strictly a personal preference on my part. I would rather encourage you to really truly go within and make love to your soul and your spirit and become very intimate with it, to where you come into your own power and your own truth. And again, Tammy can help you. Tammy is very good at it. Chuck's Red is very good at it. Valerie is very good at it. And that again, that's just my personal preference. Beautiful. Yeah, Tammy, I love you guys. Akel, Crystal Child, I can't handle the darkness. Still on the planet, we're transmuting the darkness, and understand this, sweet ones. This is a space of polarity. There has to be darkness in order for you guys to understand and embrace your light. Simple as that. And, you know, we just transmute it and transform it. We're the best of the best, and that's why we're here. And that's how we transform the darkness to the light. No, come on now. Get off of my phone cord. Thank you. And you know, we're transformers. And that's the beauty of the darkness. And when you can find that beauty in the darkness on this planet, it's going to make it much easier for you to transform it. Chucks, what just happened? I'm not sure what just happened. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Still, if this person are not willing to see the light, we have to go to be for ourselves. You know, Annette, that's where we have to honor, sweetheart. That's where we have to honor everybody's soul's choice. Because just because your soul has chosen to awaken doesn't mean somebody else's soul has chosen to awaken. And if they are still making the choice to stay in that darkness and not see the light, we have to honor that. And we just have to hold space and accept that they have chosen not to ascend and awaken to the truth of all that they are. And that's just something that we have to allow, sweethearts. And that's where acceptance and allowance comes in. All right, let me catch up here. I think I'm way behind on reading this. I hate meds. They mucked up my sister's life. Oh, meds have made, bless them. And, don't hate anything, sweetheart. Bless it. Seriously, that cop that pulls you over and is a dick to you, bless him. Those meds that have screwed up your life, bless them. Be grateful for the experience, because now you know that they messed up your life. You know this happened. When you can find gratitude, sweet ones, in everything, the gratitude for the experiences of darkness, of anger, of projection, of competition, when you can find gratitude for the experience, it's so much easier to neutralize it and 0 point it and bring it back to harmony, sweet ones. It really is. And it really is beautiful. You are a goddess. Nah, I'm just mama. I'm no different than any of you. Can we be the same wherever we go? Brian, I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, but I'm going to answer that like this. We are the same in every breath, in every moment, because that sameness is the oneness of all that we are. And that oneness, remember, I gave you that example of hold a black piece of paper with a bunch of holes, hold it up to a light, and there's a bunch of little light fragments coming from those holes. It still comes from the same source of light, the one. That's why I say, we're not coming into oneness. We already are oneness. So that same, Brian, yeah, we're the same wherever we go. We're just an individual, unique expression of it on different frequencies, different timelines, different paradigms. And that's why we have to accept it. I can sit here and say something to somebody in my physical reality, and they'll turn around and say, you never said that. Well, sure I did. Well, that's because they're on a different timeline than I was when I said it, a different frequency. And where our human aspect wants to sit there and say, you're lying or you're wrong, I did too tell you that. Truly, you're both right. There is no wrong, because they're just at a different frequency on a different timeline. And that's when, that is the hardest part of the human aspect to embrace. And that's why I say really allow and accept everybody, because everybody's at a different frequency, so their truth is going to be different. And if you're at a higher frequency, your truth is not going to necessarily make sense to them. But, you can say something to your husband and he can sit there and swear up and down you did not tell him to stop by the store and pick up that hamburger. But you did, and that's because you're on two different timelines. You're on two different frequencies. You're in two different spaces, And rather than get into an argument, observe it and say, wait a sec, okay. If he didn't hear me and I know I said it, what's going on? When you can step back and observe that and say, okay, he was just in a different space than I was, and go on and let it go, rather than argue about, well, yes, I did. No, you didn't. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of us. And when we can embrace that fully and let that petty stuff go, it's only the human that makes it difficult, sweet ones. Love is very, very simple. Love is very, very simple. Karen, do you feel that we accept our past happenings because we organized them to happen in advance? Absolutely, we did. Sweet ones, it's really helpful to understand this. Every person you meet, every experience you have, you orchestrated it before you ever incarnated, before you were ever born into this lifetime, including running across me. Some of you came into my presence 4 or 5 years ago. Others have just now come into my presence because out of the blue they were guided, or out of the blue it popped up into their newsfeed, and it popped up into your newsfeed right at that time because you needed it to be, and because your spirit put it there. Because you, whether you're aware of it or not, contracted for me to come into your presence, and I contracted for you to come into my presence at this particular space and time. And thank you, Linda. I read the person's energy, and God, I'm not a fortune teller. Absolutely, Tammy, and that's why I said what I said. You know, for me personally, I don't do card readings. I can look at every single one of you guys. I can see your energy, your soul blueprints. I can see your soul templates. I can see every energy blockage in you. It's a gift I have. However, it's a personal, literally a personal preference, and I do not judge Tammy or anybody else that does any type of healing at all, because some of them are guided to do that. Some of them are guided to charge for their healing, and that's where you have to follow your spirit. And you know, my spirit tells me no, you know, that's not my mission to do that. And that's where we have to honor everybody and be okay with it. And so Tammy and the rest of you, I really was not judging you guys. Please understand that. Victoria, that's why I said, you know, Tammy can read for you, Victoria. The rest of you, you know, that's the beauty of us, sweet ones. We all have different gifts. We all have different purposes and missions here. And all we have to do is just really come together and you know, stand side by side and make that big circle all the way around this globe. And just allow the magic of each of us, our different, unique, individual expressions, you know, be the glory of God that we are, and come together in that unity. And, you know, you have your gift, I have my gift, somebody else has their gifts, and, you know, together we make one huge gift, magical gift of creation, and that's the beauty of us. Big hugs, Tobias. One person sent me Madonna's Power saying goodbye today, and I cried. I still don't know why. Just observe it, Annette. Just observe it. What else do I have frequency music going on in the background? Yeah, I have 528 hertz brings transformation and DNA repair. I leave solfeggio music on 24 hours a day. Like I said, normally I either listen to 528 or 1122. It just goes back and forth constantly. My daughter always says, don't say hate. She's 4. I tell you what, Phoenix, children born after 2012 are more awakened than every single one of us. They are born with absolutely no veils. And these autistic children, tell you what, the only reason they are labeling it as autistic is because they are born without veils. They are born in such a high frequency that the human vessel cannot balance it out. And the beauty of this total solar eclipse, sweet ones, with these autistic children and autism, is the higher this planet evolves in its frequency, the more you're going to find these autistic children are really going to, where they lash out and yada yada yada, or they don't talk or this or that, you're going to see the higher in frequency this planet evolves into. And once it gets into the highest frequency of that 5D grid, if you will, you're going to see that autism is going to come into harmony and balance, and they're going to come out of what society has labeled as difficult children, or those who have autistic children, you understand what I'm saying. But they're going to come into that balance, and you're going to find that it's going to become more graceful and easy with you as parents with your children. But I will say this, the best thing you can do for autistic children right now, and it doesn't matter about education or anything else, you find their passion, you find their gift, drawing, music, playing an instrument, whatever it may be, but that is where their gift. And you want to really change the life of your autistic child, you find the creativity that is their passion and let them do it as much as they want. And that is going to help them come into that balance and that harmony, and it's going to allow them to let go of all of that high energy that is being trapped within them, that their vessel is not handling, if you will. And you're going to find that's also going to make it a lot more graceful for their existence, for them. You know, that so much has such a negative energy is put on autistic children, and I tell you what, they are the most magical, beautiful children right now on this earth. Seriously, they hold such a high vibration, and if you can find what it is they're good at, as far as a creativity aspect, drawing, painting, dancing, singing, music, if you can find that, I'm telling you, that's going to make life so much easier on that child and on you as a parent. I love you all so much. You know, we're all in this together. And those of us who have been on this journey together, some of them have been with me all 4 or 5 years. I tell you what, we have evolved so much with each other. Sure, we've had our disagreements and this and that, but you know, in the end, we still come right back to each other. We still evolve because all hearts meet at one point, sweet ones. And that's right here, and that meeting point is God, is the Creator. How do you unlock your own blocks? You have to step into it, Teresa. You have to step into that fear. You have to step into that wound. You have to step into that hurt. You have to step into that betrayal. You have to step into that abandonment. And the adult Teresa has to detach her emotions and be the parent to that inner child that really has the wounds that's being triggered. And really be the parent, because all wounds in our hearts, all emotions, everything, darkness in our hearts, those walls and everything really stem from abandonment and rejection and not having an emotional bond of love formed with one or both parental figures in our lives. And that's where it's all experiences of hurt and betrayal and cheating and everything else stem from. And that's when you really have to step into those wounds, and that's how you undo your own blocks. Thank you, Tammy. I love you too, beautiful. So, okay, what did I miss? I missed something here. Teresa, that's what I meant by multiple personalities. We are either in or out. And you know what, sweet ones? We all have multiple personalities. You want to know why? Seriously, you want to know why bipolar and schizophrenia and schizoaffective and stuff came to be? Because those multiple personalities are our higher aspects of our higher self. That's all it is. You know, they used to, that's why I was on so many different medications, because I could hear spirit. I could hear the angels, and I could sit there and I could tell people, when I was younger, I could tell them, they just lied to you. You're lying to her. Why are you lying to her? 7 and 8 years old, people don't like to hear that shit. But I'm telling you, the reason we have been labeled crazy, the reason we have been labeled bipolar and schizophrenic and this and that, is because those multiple personalities, because we hear voices and shit like that, seriously, those are higher aspects. Those multiple personalities are all just different aspects of our higher selves. And on the spiritual journey, you really learn that. Because, you know, they try telling me that I'm schizophrenic with 10 plus different personalities. And I said, you're absolutely right, not schizophrenic, but you're right, I have 10 different personalities. I said I have about 144 of them. All different aspects of myself. Well, of course, they didn't like that, but, you know, and that's when I was a teenager. You know, I told them I have 144 different personalities. You want to know why I said 144 and it never made sense to me then? It makes sense to me now. Because there's 144 dimensions. In every single one of those dimensions, we have an aspect of a higher self. You're not crazy, sweet ones. You're the unique individual expression of the Creator. Embrace it. Embrace that love. And dance. I love you guys. I hope I put a smile on your faces and a little bit of sparkle in your hearts. And again, I encourage you, validate anything I say within. Have a great day, guys. I love you. Big hugs and blessings, sweethearts. Bye-bye now.